We're going to be calling this like the great rotation, but also I'm a little bit concerned. I'll show you some of the things that I'm seeing out there that kind of have me on guard about what's going on here. Yeah, rotation, but also kind of feels like maybe this could be a little bit of a last gasp because we kind of see that the big stuff that has been leading is starting to weaken, and then for whatever reason, the small stuff has kind of popped up. Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is July 1st. It's the first of the month and it's the end of the quarter. Normally I would be doing a different video today, more of an educational piece, but wow, today was very interesting. I think you guys noticed that. We're going to be calling this like the great rotation, but also I'm a little bit concerned. I'll show you some of the things that I'm seeing out there that kind of have me on guard about what's going on here. Yeah, rotation, but also kind of feels like maybe this could be a little bit of a last gasp because we kind of see that the big stuff that has been leading is starting to weaken, and then for whatever reason the small stuff has kind of popped up. And I don't know if that is simply just because of this rotation and that rebalancing. A lot of people have been talking about that because it was the end of the quarter and we just had a huge run during this quarter because in April, the market was down huge and then everything just launched and all the big hedge funds have to rebalance this stuff because all their portfolios probably got out of whack. So I imagine what's happening, number one, is that they're taking gains and money and profits from the big winners, and in order to rebalance, they have to put them elsewhere, and also maybe they're just de-risking from those and putting them into some of the other names that haven't really moved up. I do also think that there's a bit of a theme going on, so we'll talk about that too. So I just kind of want to dive in here and show you a couple of things that we've been doing. So let's kind of go here first. We took some profits today. Mostly because I did think that a lot of things were getting quite frothy and I thought it was reasonable to take some profits. So Rocket Lab, 42% gain. Reddit, the leverage ETF of Reddit, 11% gain. Robinhood, our last entry was plus 40%. And from our original entry, it is up 272%, and that is not an option. That is stock on a leveraged ETF. Amazing. So that one's been fun. RCAT, 11% gain. BKSY, 69% gain. SOFI, which is the leverage ETF SOFI, 34% gain. And then IONL, which is the leverage ETF of IonQ, got at that plus 2%. Of course, we've got a couple of things that are down, like TEM. I got stopped out of Tesla. But for the most part, I mean, we've been doing really well. I'm trying to look at my tickers here. Bitcoin, we're still in Bitcoin. We've got a couple other things like that. So, all in all, we're doing really well. And I wanted to take some profits just in case we were starting to see some more craziness out there. But let's talk about some of the other stuff that I'm showing you and kind of about this great rotation, 4th of July rally, and we got breadth coming up. Before that, I do want to make sure that you guys are aware we are running a special, and the financial people at Simpler Trading have let me know that this is a very rare thing, and they want me to let you know that number one, what's rare is that we are doing this on a monthly basis, so you don't have to buy one quarter at a time. This is kind of a low commitment thing if you guys want to come in and check it out. We're also doing it for $197 per month instead of $247. So again, they're like, we don't even run specials like this. So this is kind of like a rare one-time thing. I'm actually not even sure how long this is going to last. So you guys might want to get into that. And part of the reason we're doing this is because we have the next 3 months, we're going to be doing classes each month specific to the Moxie Indicator setups, leveraged ETF, long-term setups, because I do think this market is looking great overall. We just need to see some weakness now. And I want to make sure that you guys actually take advantage of what's going on in the market. So come on in here, pick it up for $197 a month. You'll come into the Moxie room and you get to see everything that I talk about. And especially on days like today, you don't have to be wondering what's happening. You can come in, talk to us, and see what's actually going on with the market. And then I'll make videos like this for you guys so you can actually check this out. So simplertrading.com/Moxie. All right, these are the things I wanted to kind of walk through just to show you like what's happening out there. And the market, the SPX obviously is making new all-time highs. We know that it's great, it's bullish, okay, but that doesn't mean that it's going to go up forever, right? And the crazy thing is, so those of you in the Moxie room, you guys know we were talking about this today. I was expecting the market to pull back today because the end of the quarter, the big funds want their books to look good, and so window dressing, they keep everything propped up until the quarter rolls over, the new month, and they can drop it and start over. Well, notice how the SPX didn't really move, okay? That is because the S&P is kind of stuck in the middle between tech and everything else. And if we look At the NASDAQ, you can see the NASDAQ and the semiconductors really dropped pretty hard and actually stayed down. This is what I was expecting from the SPX. This is why I was taking some, not bearish trades, but I was actually expecting the market to pull back today. And basically it did, except that the SPX did not pull back because you had crazy things like this. The IWM popping up and going huge. You had the Dow still ripping. You had XLF, the financials, up still. And we even had the RSP, which is the leverage, or it is the, let's see, RSP, it is the equal weight of the S&P. And so it's kind of showing you like what the rest of the market did, and it jumped up. And so crazy enough, it's almost like I picked the wrong vehicle somehow. I was expecting the market to pull back, but the one thing that didn't pull back was the rest of the market. And so kind of some weird stuff. Obviously huge volume. I am a little bit concerned that this could simply be because of rebalancing and quarter end, and that this might be a little bit of a blip. The other thing that has me a little bit concerned about this is that we do look at the RSP. The fact that it is up here is not exactly the greatest place to go in and chase it from. It would have been better down here, but then we have this big move, and it's just weird to see the market doing this, to be perfectly honest. So I do think that there should be a little bit of a grind up into 4th of July, because the 3rd of July is typically a very bullish day, because everybody wants to feel good going into the 4th of July. And so that's what we're planning for. I don't think we're going to get a serious move down until basically next week. And the pullback that we got in the NASDAQ, like what you see here, what if it actually holds and then kind of grinds higher over the next 2.5 days? Remember, the 3rd of July is a half day. So that's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm not totally sure yet. I'm not short yet. But I think that that might be what's happening in through here. Okay. Then let's talk about Hood. Obviously, Hood has been on an absolute tear. Remember, the first place that we got into Hood was all the way down here, and then they have been running a special promotion with crypto and bringing people over and all that kind of stuff. And huge volume. Yes, it's moved up, but I'm also concerned that today was also even bigger volume, and it made kind of a lower high today. So it actually ended a little bit down. I'm not sure that this is sustainable, and this is why I'm a little bit concerned that right here, right now, might be a little bit cautious as far as it being all the way up here. It has been a huge move, and we just know that not everything stays up forever, and I'm kind of getting those vibes that the market might want to start to come down a little bit. And if you look at SMH, it's kind of the same thing. We know that NVIDIA, AMD, all that kind of stuff have been just through the roof, and I'm a little concerned that this jump that we had after the whole Iran-Israel bunker buster bomb situation, great, that was the move that helped propel things up, but this is now right into a situation where yes, we have 4th of July, so it's not falling apart yet, but I'm concerned that we're getting at things a little bit too frothy. The way I can show you this, I'll just jump ahead here, is that if you look at the breadth area, these things are maxed out. They are maxed out. So that is something that I'm a little wary about, because anytime when I see these things get up over 80%, the market doesn't really like to stay up there for very long. So I'm on high alert. Of course, the market's still up. I get that, but I'm very much on high alert. I'm a little bit concerned that this might be kind of like ring the bell at the top, and then we start coming back down, and probably sometime next week. So this is why we took profits. Is really kind of what I'm seeing in through here. So I'm trying not to let this pop in the everything else names really throw me off too much. I look at these names, I look at things like AMD, and I just don't think that they're sustainable up here, right in through here. I think we should expect a little bit more of a pullback. It's not bad. It's just that I think we need to expect that there could be a pullback and be prepared. Like, you don't want to keep chasing that to the long side. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Or look at ARKK. I mean, my goodness, this has done amazingly well. This is absolutely terrific. Bravo, insane, great job. But also, you don't really want to keep chasing it up there. And how long does it stay up there? Because look, anytime you get these kind of pops, eventually you get a pullback. And I think it's just going to be the normal ebb and flow of how markets go. You don't want to keep chasing that. You want it to come down. But that also means if you start buying up there, you're going to get run over. And so this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. And FFTY, this is the IBD 50. Now, it didn't break out and make a new high, but it did go right back up to its previous high. So that seems kind of concerning to me. And also the Moxie Indicator is looking a little bit weak in through here. And this is just very overdone. I mean, we have had an absolutely rip-roaring rally since the tariff tantrum lows back in April. And now it's been 3 months. So how far can this thing go? And that is my concern. And Trump today reiterated some more tariff stuff about July 9th. So, we got that, and we got Japan and more tariffs and all that kind of stuff. So there might be some things to help grease the wheels to the downside eventually. SOFI, same thing. Amazing move. Absolutely amazing move. But also it's getting really darn extended, and I think that it is reasonable to think that this thing might pull back a little bit. So I really like the name. I think it's going to go much higher into the future over the course of the next several months, but not right here and not right now, and that's where I'm concerned about this. Rocket Lab, same thing. Amazing move, but they don't last forever, and we just took some profits today, and I think this will probably come back down a little bit. And hopefully we can find a good, reasonable place to have this thing come back down, and then we can jump back into it on the long side. But we need to be able to ride the waves of the market. And at least for what I'm seeing and how I trade, right now is not the time to press things to the long side. Now is the time to actually take some profits, I believe, and see if we can actually get a little bit of softness and pull back and cycle back down. All my indicators are telling me it's almost a little too good out there, okay? So yeah, 4th of July rally, breadth, I'm going to show you this ticker. This is what I'm going through. So we've gone all through that. 4th of July rally, breadth. Now let's talk about some interesting things out there that might actually be doing something and or telling me why the market could be coming down. So NAIL. NAIL is the leveraged ETF of the home builders. This has been basing for a while. You can see it's kind of put in this level, and the Moxie Indicator has been moving up. And yeah, big move on big volume today, and it might be because it's finally seeing the light that could be interest rate cuts. So home builders are of course going to do well from more interest rate cuts. We know that. And then also, if they're doing a rotation of money, out from the big winners and into things that could be going, if this is a new theme, then we could start seeing some money coming in here. And let me just point out that there has actually been an increase in volume down here on the lows. So this is not totally new, but I think it is something that is starting to build. So if you guys think that NAIL is something to get into, I would support that. I think this is looking very interesting. Now KRE, DPST, this is the leverage ETF of the regional banks, and KRE, same kind of deal, big volume today, could be rotation, but it is breaking out. And for the most part, you can see here how it's actually been holding these moving averages quite well. And you can see the Moxie price trigger, and it's been moving up. And it seems to me that it's recovered, and then it's been basing, and now it's breaking out. So regional banks seem to be doing well, probably because the idea of lower interest rates means it's going to spur business activity. It's going to spur community activity, small business activity, and regional banks are going to benefit from that. So I think this could be a theme that could be happening as well. XLF. I actually just wanted to show you guys that this is something that's kind of telling me that, again, maybe we're actually looking a little bit too high. I think I was actually, no, I did type XLP. Yeah, this was up here. You can see it's a little extended. It is very far away from the hourly 50. So yes, it's strong, but also could be a little extended, and I think it would be reasonable for a pullback at some point, okay? I think that was a little bit out of place as far as the notes I was taking. I'm trying to show you actually XLP, which if you come over here, had a big day. Big day, because the theme of what I was seeing, again, I've taken notes here off the top of my head. I mean, JMIA, that is retail. ANF, which is Abercrombie and Fitch. Let's see, we had RH, like the store. We had Nike was up. We had Under Armour that was up. SBH, Sally's Beauty Supply, was up. So it really kind of feels as though we're getting a rotation into consumer related stuff. Interest rates coming down, the economy's still doing well, they're going to start spending more, and these things do well. So that's kind of the theme that I'm seeing, and XLP seems to be popping up. And remember, this is kind of a defensive play. So I think that the market, as far as tech and growth, might be a little bit under pressure because everything is so extended to the upside. And another way to look at this is RETL as an ETF. You can see it was kind of basing for the last few days and then popped up. I'd still be careful because even if the market comes down, these things may not be bulletproof. They might come down with the market too if the market gets soft. But I do think that they are starting to show and demonstrate that there could be some new themes out there, especially consumer facing. Okay? Retail, consumer facing, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I hope that works out for you. Remember, we've got the special that is running, $197 for the Moxie Indicator Mastery. That is the trading room that I run. Come on in. We've got lots of activity. I was there in the room all day, chatting away, making a bunch of posts. You guys will know everything that I do and everything that I think and how I communicate with you towards the market and all this. We've had some really good comments in the room. A lot of people are very happy and thrilled that they're in the room, and they're like, yeah, I love the way you trade. I love the way that you see the market and how you convey that to us. So thank you for doing that. And also thank you for the nice posts. Appreciate you guys commenting. All right, thanks again, and we'll see you at the next one. Take care. Hey, TG here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my market analysis. Or you can join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.